Welcome everyone. My name is Stella, and thank you for tuning in today to Bibi and Yaya, where you will hear real-life stories every week which people have sent to us, detailing their life experiences, feelings, emotions, and reactions along the way. Today's letter is from Claudia, who has been diagnosed with personality disorders, including narcissism. She struggles with her diagnoses and wants people to know that even though she has done some bad things in her life, she is not a terrible person. Claudia lives with these disorders, and they cause her to have depression and anxiety, which can certainly make the situations even more difficult to deal with. Claudia lives her life as normal as possible and truly needs people to understand these personality disorders in order to remove the stigma associated with them. I will read Claudia's story in just a moment, but before I begin, please note that the people who write into us share their stories in hopes of connecting with others who may be able to give advice, comments, and opinions, such as yourself. You may have just the right solution to today's personal life story. Here on Bibi and Yaya, we will also share our thoughts and opinions with the hopes that we can help those who share their stories with us. If you have a story to tell, please send us an email by using the email provided in the description box below. And by hitting the thumbs up button, sharing, and subscribing to this channel, you can stay up to date with these very personal stories. This helps us to bring you new life stories and adventures every week, so you don't miss a thing. Also, you may hear a story here on Bibi and Yaya which resonates with your life. If so, you can read what other people have posted to help you with your own personal situation. These personal stories are real. People need advice, and you have the opportunity to help them with your own comments or solutions. And now, here's Claudia's story. Dear Stella, my name is Claudia, and I'm a sociopath. I've done some bad things in my life, but I'm choosing to be a good person. I am a woman with antisocial personality disorder and a narcissistic personality. In this letter, I will be sharing what it's like to live with my diagnoses and how it impacts my relationships. When we hear words like sociopath and narcissist, all sorts of negative stereotypes might spring to mind. But I have been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, or ASPD, and a narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, and I am attempting to show this wasn't always the case. I was diagnosed with ASPD, again known as antisocial personality disorder, when I was 21 years old while studying at the university. I am now 26, and I recall how at the time I felt empty and hollow and thought I might be depressed. I sought help from a psychiatrist who diagnosed me with ASPD and NPD, much to my surprise. However, the doctor really helped me. I was a little bit shocked by the ASPD diagnosis. Obviously, there are so many bad connotations when it comes to cluster B personality disorders. And cluster B personalities exhibit a lack of emotional empathy and the presence of egocentrism. I thought, this can't be right. I'm not like that. I'm not some evil tyrant or anything. So I went to get a second opinion, and a third, and a fourth, and they all came back with the same response. Since accepting my diagnosis, I have gone on to learn more about what it means to be a sociopath and have become an advocate for those with personality disorders. I recently began making YouTube videos explaining what it's like to live with ASPD and NPD, and admit I have done some nasty things in the past and have hurt people. I don't feel remorse or guilt for my actions, and also I have a lack of empathy. But this doesn't make me an inherently bad person. I know those things sound horrible, but my experience with ASPD has been the exact opposite of what you see on television. I'm not sitting at home planning a murder or a bank heist. I'm at home dealing with depression and anxiety because it's hard for me to relate to other people. I understand what you're feeling, but I'm not personally able to feel it. But the difference between a good person and a bad person is choice, not empathy. People with empathy can still do horrible things, like crimes of passion, for example. I'm actively trying to be a good person. I try to do everything I possibly can to help my friends and family. I don't go out there to harm people. I live by a standard of moral codes. I don't do things because I know they're bad. I know it's a choice. I choose not to cheat on my current partner. I choose not to be violent or verbally abusive. I choose not to be a blanking person. Initially, I wasn't keen on speaking publicly about my diagnosis, as I was worried it would cost me my jobs and opportunities. But I know I can't change who I am, and I hope to use my experience to help others. It's been a rough experience dealing with ASPD. There's an extra layer of stigma. I can't help who I am as a person. All I can do is make good and better choices. I want to be an advocate for accepting people with personality disorders. I want them to know that they can get help, and they should. If you think you may have one of the cluster B personality disorders, I want you to know that you are not alone, and I will be out there advocating for you. If you are friends with someone whom you believe to be sociopathic, narcissistic, or borderline personality, please be understanding and aware it's not a choice. It's very much a biological reality. While we may not have empathy, you do. Perhaps you can use it in this instance. Thank you, Claudia, for sharing your very emotional story with us today. We wish you much success in your life and hope you are able to change people's thoughts and attitudes regarding personality disorders and lessen the stigma surrounding them. And now, because I will be giving Claudia my opinion, I must disclose a disclaimer before doing so. Even though I have studied psychology at the university, I am not by any means a professional in psychology and personality disorders. However, I do have a reference for my opinion, and she holds a doctorate in psychology. Claudia, it might be a good idea to accept the reality that many people simply don't understand or even know about personality disorders, such as the ones you have been diagnosed with. They are quick to jump to conclusions or make assumptions about someone's character. I am sure people are not doing this because they are insensitive or mean. Rather, they behave in such a way due to their lack of understanding. Also, people tend to treat others poorly when they are unhappy themselves. Sometimes others' reactions have little to do with us. In the meantime, instead of trying to change the world from thinking you are a bad person, try to focus on what you can control and find gratitude with that. However, your desire to be an advocate for and lessen the stigma for people with these personality disorders is commendable and encouraging. Keep up the good work and always remember to love yourself wholly. And please remember that this opinion is solely mine and the thoughts of the doctor of psychology I referenced above. Always, always consult with a professional in the field of psychology if you or anyone you know has personality disorders or any other type of psychological issues. The professionals will be able to help you, even if you may think sometimes you are destined to be this way indefinitely. Claudia, all the best to you, dear lady. Perhaps you may have the right solution or best advice for Claudia. If so, we would like to hear from you. And you can read other people's comments, solutions, and opinions below relating to this and other real-life situations. They could very well mirror your own thoughts, or they could be quite different from yours. And remember that by liking and subscribing to Bibi and Yaya, you will hear me read letters every week which people send us about issues they are dealing with in their lives. These are real-life personal stories and people's everyday experiences. And don't forget, if you have a personal story or issue which you would like to share with us, please send us an email using the email provided in the description box below. We would be very happy to hear from you and offer any advice on how to deal or cope with your personal experience. We thank you very much for joining us today here on Bibi and Yaya. See you the next time.